Hello and welcome to another video from Minus Touch Toys, Games and Collectibles. And today we are looking at the 1995 release by Playmates from their classic Star Trek movie series of 5-inch action figures. And this particular action figure we are looking at today is from the very first movie, Star Trek the Motion Picture, and it is of Commander Spock. And he's obviously dressed in his Starfleet uniform as he appeared in the movie. Okay, so this is the card it comes in. You can see you've got an image of the classic Enterprise NCC 1701. And it says Classic Star Trek Movie Series. You've got warning, choking hazard, small parts not suitable for children under 3 years old. And it says Commander Spock just below the command emblem and badge. And it comes with Galactic Accessories, which includes the Starfleet Tricorder, the engineering tool, the Vulcan Kolinahr Necklace, and a Vija Spacecraft section. And also it comes with a bonus Star Trek movie action base. And it is assortment number 6450, and it is item number 6452. And it says, as seen in the hit Star Trek the Motion Picture. And it says, warning, not suitable for children under 4 years, ages 4 and up. And Playmates logo on the bottom right-hand corner. Okay, so that's the back of the card. Now, before we have a good look at Spock himself, let's turn the card around and let's see what we got printed on the back. Okay, so I've turned the card around, and this is what we got on the back. So you got the Band-Aid sticker, which has been a Band-Aid with the importers of Playmates items, figures and toys back in the 80s and 90s. As it says, not suitable for children under 36 months, contains small parts, distributed by Band-Aid UK. And you've got the 4+ sign, the CE and the Band-Aid logo. This is Classic Star Trek Movie Series. Includes Galactic Accessories Starfleet Tricorder, the standard data processing device for all away missions. The Tricorder quickly analyzes field data and stores it for later study. Engineering tool allows Spock to handle practically any breakdown that might occur on the Enterprise. Vulcan Kolinahr Necklace, a ritual decoration used in ancient Vulcan ceremonies leading to the elimination of all emotional responses. And Vija Spacecraft section. Collect all 5 Star Trek the Motion Picture figures to assemble the entire Vija model. And it's also got, coming soon, Star Trek Voyager. Explore all new frontiers with the crew of Star Trek Voyager from Playmates, coming this fall. And collect the whole universe of Star Trek heroes and villains as featured in the original Star Trek movies. So you got Admiral Kirk from Star Trek the Motion Picture, Commander Spock from Star Trek the Motion Picture, General Chang from Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, Dr. McCoy from Star Trek the Motion Picture, Commander Krug from Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, Lieutenant Sulu from Star Trek the Motion Picture, Lieutenant Savick from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Lieutenant Uhura from Star Trek the Motion Picture, Khan from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and Martia from Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. You've got the proof of purchase and the Star Trek fan club details there. You've got all the copyright and licensing information, Paramount Pictures and so on. Assortment number 6450, stock number 6452. You've got the Star Trek logo, Playmates logo, ages 4 and up, and the barcode. And it says Star Trek, this is your clip and collect section. Star Trek the Motion Picture, 1979, starring Leonard Nimoy as Mr. Spock, is unique Star Trek the Motion Picture uniform, in unique Star Trek Motion Picture uniform. Guest appearance, Persis Kambata as Aliyah, and special notation directed by Robert Wise, sound and music, and Andromeda Strain. After completing the 5-year mission on the Enterprise, Mr. Spock began preparation for the Arcare Vulcan ritual called Kolinahr. Through the mysterious ceremony, the candidate attempts to eradicate all emotion behavior from his personality. Logic will then become the only response possible to any situation. Mr. Spock had completed the meditative training for Kolinahr, but his immense concentration was broken by the initiation of a telepathic communication from an alien probe. Mr. Spock endeavours were deeply affected by the threat posed by this craft. He left Vulcan to rejoin Admiral Kirk and the Enterprise. They set off to investigate the menace and discovered that it called itself Vija. Actually, it was the Earth-launched Voyager space probe. It had developed into a hostile entity by a chance encounter with other alien technology, which empowered the probe to return its knowledge to its creator. Thanks to Mr. Spock being under pressure, his mental powers and the performance of the Enterprise crew, this crisis was resolved. There we are. So that's what happened. That's a brief synopsis of Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Okay, let's turn the figure around and have a good look at Mr. Spock himself. Okay, so I've zoomed right in on the facial features of Mr. Spock. And I have to say, the face is disappointing. I mean, after all the figures that Playmates produced, some of the detailing of the facial features is just absolutely superb. But I find this one to be quite a poor likeness of Leonard Nimoy, obviously, who portrayed Spock in the motion picture and all the original movies. Yeah, I mean, it's not a very good likeness at all, really. The hair's right, obviously, and the ears are right, the eyebrows are right, and perhaps the eyes are right, but the rest of the face just isn't quite right, which is a shame, really, because some of the later figures of Spock was much better, but this one, yeah, it's just not. They just haven't got the face right on this one, which is a shame. But as is for his uniform, I mean, he's in that classic Star Trek uniform that they wore in the motion picture, which was kind of like an upgraded version of the original series uniform. But yeah, I personally, I didn't like the uniform. I thought it was not a very good design overall. I preferred the white shirt that Kirk wore from time to time in the movie, but certainly these grey uniforms, I really didn't think they were particularly good. And there you can see he comes with his accessories. So there is the Vija, the engineering tool, sorry. There's the tricorder, and just below that you've got part of the Vija probe, which if you collected all 5 figures, you can assemble the Vija probe completely. And there's a Kolinahr necklace, which he was attempting to purge all the motion with on Vulcan and earn his necklace. And just behind him is his Starfleet bonus base, which actually has his name printed on it. If you can just about see that, you can see it's got Star Trek: The Motion Picture, Commander Spock. Okay, that is the figure. Now, articulation wise, yeah, articulation wise is pretty good, as with all these figures. Now, obviously, you can still see that he's sealed in the packet. I can't take him out, but I do have my trusted Ben Sisko figure here, and the articulation is pretty much all the same, and they're pretty much the same size figures as well, as you can see. So let's just get some sizes. It says it's the 5-inch figure, and that is, well, he's not quite 5 inches. He's just under. He's about 4 3/4 inches, and so that gives him a size of about 12 centimeters. Measuring across his hands, we're about 6 centimeters, and depth-wise, we're looking at about 2 centimeters. So all these figures were approximately the same size, practically the same size anyway. You can see there's maybe a fraction difference in sizes there. Okay, articulation-wise, as I say, these are all the same. So you've got the movement of the head, which rotates all the way around. You've got the top of the arm, which goes up and down, as you can see, both arms. You've got the top of the arm, which rotates, so you can rotate that around 360 degrees if you wanted to. And you've also got the elbow, which bends up and down. So some great articulation on the arm. The hands don't move, but they don't need to, because you've got the movement at the top of the arm there. So that is the, and then obviously we got the same on the other arm. Same movement. Waist, yep, so you can turn the whole waist all the way around again. and you've got the movement at the tops of the legs, which go up and down again. And then, of course, you've got the knee joints, which bend backwards and forwards, so you can simulate proper walking, as opposed to just, you know, partial walking. No articulation on the feet on these, but then they have the stands, the holes in the bottom of the feet for them to stand on, and obviously they're all individually numbered, as all the Playmates figures were. Okay, so that is the articulation wise. So how well did these figures do? Well, like all Playmates figures, the 90s was a very, very big time for Star Trek. There was, what do we have? We had movies being released. We had the Next Generation. The whole series had come to an end, but had gone on to the movies. We had Star Trek Voyager. We had Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And we were about to get Star Trek Enterprise at the time. I think that was a little bit later. So there was so much Star Trek going on. We also had reruns of the original series on UK Gold or Bravo. There was lots and lots of Star Trek on television, and also the movies were regularly appearing on the satellite channels. So yeah, it was a very, very big thing. And in the 90s, it was probably the biggest franchise in the world, Star Trek. Everybody was into Star Trek The Next Generation, Star Trek the original series, Voyager, Deep Space Nine. Everybody was into it. And as soon as figures were released, when we had the shop, people used to pre-order the figures. They knew they were coming. They were announced a while before they were coming. We used to get posters from the manufacturers that we put on the wall, coming soon. So people would come in and pre-order all these figures. The trouble with that was that when they came into the shop, you had to buy, obviously you bought them in cases, and you had more of certain figures in the cases. So the popular ones, so you might have got 4 Kirk, or maybe 3 Spock, or maybe 4 Chekhov, and 2 Sulu, and 1 Uhura, and 1 Scotty, that kind of thing. So you had to buy multiple cases in order to fill your customers' requirements. But you know, these figures really did come in, and they sold very, very quickly. And then it took us a while to get more stock in, but obviously the longer they've been out, the slower they moved. And eventually the figures finish, and they move on to the next wave of figures. And as I say, this was no exception. So sold very well initially, but obviously mass produced, and what can I say? All of the Star Trek figures from Playmates were just phenomenally sold. Of course, now, what are we talking now? We are talking just under 20 years. Just under 20 years later. 95 these were produced, so 19 years. These figures are now incredibly collectible, especially the ones where you only had a few in the cases, or 1 or 2s in the cases. Those are the ones that are the most sought after and collectible figures. The ones that were 4s or 5s in the cases, those are the ones that still appear from time to time on the platforms. Although Star Trek figures are getting less and less frequent on the platforms, I hasten to add. Obviously the years are moving on. People that bought the figures may have taken them out of the packaging and had them on display. On the ones that have kept them in the packets, probably keep them in their own collections or what have you. So they don't very often now come up on the platforms in this mint unopened condition. However, we at Midas Touch, we have managed to find quite a few of these figures, and they're currently available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to quite simply by clicking the link below. It'll take you straight to the website, where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Star Trek items, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles. Come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and I am absolutely positive that you won't want to miss this, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new products which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you are looking for, something old that you've never been able to find, something quirky you might want to buy for a friend, Or maybe just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories. Well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this action figure with me. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next time.